Welcome to People. I'm Shirley Lin. Today my guest is Mr. Christopher Fay, who is CEO of Saatchi Saatchi, one of the big advertising companies. Their clients include Oil of Olay, Head and Shoulders, a shampoo, Lexus, the car, Huanan Commercial Bank, Mead Johnson, Weiquan Brands, one of the food companies, Discovery Channel, and more. Well, he's also fluent in Japanese, Mandarin Chinese, and Spanish. Well, let's welcome Chris. Hello, Chris.
I'm thrilled to be here. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's so good for you to make time to be in here at this interview.
Well, who could resist an invitation from you? So I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, well, I want to get to know you. So you want to talk briefly about what you did or, about your life before you came to Taiwan?
My life before I came to Taiwan?
Yeah, briefly.
I'll be happy to do that. Well, I'm an American, and I was born and raised in Joliet, Illinois. And people who have heard about that town heard about it because of the movies. Movies like The Sting with Robert Redford or The Blues Brothers with John Belushi. It's a town that is always in Hollywood movies that have to do with Chicago and gangsters. But when I grew up there, it was a lovely place. It borders the Chicago area, and on the other side is all beautiful farmland. And I grew up there. I went to college at Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana. And from there, very soon, I embarked on a career in advertising. I moved to New York, and I began my career with a company called McCann Erickson. I spent many years with them. And that is pretty much how I spent my life before I came to Taiwan. I first came to Taiwan in 1998, and those were exciting days. At that time, I was working with another company. And the only other very important thing I did before I first came to Taiwan was I met my beautiful wife, Milena, and we started our family together.
All right. Well, that's great. So I heard that you actually thought about going to acting because I think you got quite a few actors in your family, but then you decided on advertising, and you actually said that advertising is a lot more fun than broadcasting and acting. Can you explain why?
Well, I think I should explain what I mean by that, because to have a program like you have and to bring guests onto your set and get to know them and to introduce them to your viewers, that's a lot of fun. When I said those
and
words,
a lot of work.
I'm sure it's a lot of work, but work is work. It's got to be fun. But I studied broadcasting in college, and I did consider going into television myself.
Okay.
And in those years, my dream, where I really, really wanted to go, was to become the next Brandon Tartikoff. And I think you'd have to be from the United States and quite a bit older to know who he was, but he was the brilliant genius behind network television in the 70s and the 1980s. And he went from one network to another, and he made very, very wise decisions, and wherever he worked, the network would win. And I thought, I want to be the person who decides what television programs are produced and made. And the easy way to find out if you're good at it is the ratings. The people either watch or do not watch the television programs that you decided to produce, the program schedule that you put together. I thought that would be interesting, but I got a taste of broadcasting, and it's a business that never sleeps. I remember as a college student having to say goodbye to my family very early on Christmas Day and drive 5 or 6 hours to go sign on a radio station, and broadcasting is a business that never sleeps. All these years later, as CEO of an advertising agency, I have to tell you, we don't get much sleep either.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
But it's different. We do it for our own reasons and our own passions. When you have a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week broadcast operation, that was the type of experience that made me think, you know what, I want to be able to stop.
Turn yourself off sometimes.
Turn it off every once in a while. Yeah.
Well, I did think about going into advertising before because I love brainstorming.
Right.
But that was years ago, and I think that now I've gotten older, I don't think I'm really fresh with great ideas, being very creative. I don't know. I think I used to be more creative than now. So, I did think about the fact that, when I was interested in advertising, I already had a family.
Right.
I was thinking, wow, my working hours, I'm not going to see my kids. Would this be right? It was struggling, but I thought about it. I did. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, let's talk about brainstorming for a minute there, because that's a fascinating topic. And I do a lot of reading about the workings of the brain, memory, psychology. It just personally interests me. And I'm happy to tell all viewers of this program that you don't get less creative as you go through life. You become more creative as you go through life.
Oh, really?
There's so many different authors who have different points of view. Yes, some of the great composers of the past 5 centuries, maybe they did some of their better work when they were younger. Some of the business leaders that are famous today, perhaps they've done some better work when they were younger. But actually, the human mind becomes more flexible, more adept, more nimble as one gets older. And literature that I've seen suggests that you reach a bit of a point in your 60s when maybe age starts to take its toll, but I don't think that applies to you and I, and that certainly doesn't apply to most viewers of this program. So if you're out there, your brain works better now than it used to, so use it.
Okay.
Regarding the amount of time that one might spend working in our field versus any other field, I think it all comes down to passion. If you love what you do, you're willing to put in the hours. But then again, if you're in the, how do you put this, the soft arts, customers who pay professionals for creative ideas, they appreciate what we do, but then again, they're ideas. It's not like you're building a car or a building or digging a hole. So it almost seems effortless to the people who make requests of you every day. And history just hasn't changed that very much. So we often get asks for another round of ideas, a series of changes, a complete rethink. Sometimes that means late nights, and we do it because we like it.